A hearty welcome to one and all. This is Group 2 of Class 80 presenting. Before we move on to our topic, we have few questions.
What is justice?
Being truthful.
Yes, we will see the answer. Upholding of what is fair, just and right, giving a solution to a malady.
How should a judge be?
Patience,
Yes, you are right. Let's move on to the answer. A judge should have the following characteristics: patience, open mindedness, courtesy, tact, courage, punctuality, firmness, understanding.
Friends, now we hope you know how a judge should be. Here we have a situation. There are two boys who are up to a conflict and they need justice. So listen carefully. Let me tell you the reason for the conflict. Long ago there lived two boys named Siddhartha and Devdatta. Siddhartha is compassionate and Devdatta is good in archery. One day Devdatta aimed a swan, and he shot it down. The bird fell near Siddhartha. Siddhartha felt pity for the bird and he saved its life. Meanwhile, Devdatta arrived and claimed that the bird belongs to him. Siddhartha was not ready to give the bird. Both of them bickered and none of them were ready to relent in. So we expect you to give a better judgment. Whom do you think the bird belongs to?
Siddhartha,
And why do you think so?
because he saved the life of this one.
Yes, you are right. The bird belongs to Siddhartha because saving a life is far better than killing it. Here, Siddhartha saved the life of the swan. After having this activity, could you guess what is today's topic?
debate,
You are right. Today we will be having a debate and the topics are war is avoidable, war is inevitable. This is actually a first topic. But I noticed that you all were very good in giving judgment. So I expect you to give a justice. So listen keenly to the speakers. The first speaker is Abhiram and he is going to share his opinion on the topic war is avoidable.
War causes many people to flee their homes for safety. For example, the Syria crisis has accelerated more dramatically than any other crisis on earth, and Syrians continue to be the largest forcibly displaced population in the world. More than half of the pre-war population has been internally displaced or forced to seek safety in neighboring countries. More than 13.2 million people on the run, including more than 6.6 million people who have escaped the border. War harms the natural environment. High intensity conflicts require and consume high amount of fuel, leading to massive CO2 emissions, contributing to climate change. Large scale vehicle movements can lead to damage of this sensitive landscape. War's financial cost is high. World War II remains as the costliest conflict in the world's history. Thank you.
Now let us see what Hashita tells on the topic war is inevitable.
war is inevitable. War happens to attain their right. Abhiram mentioned that war caused people to flee their houses. Yes, when there is justice, people protest and create war. If that's not succeeded, they flee off their hometown. You mentioned that war consumes more fuel. Yes, that's true. If war was not there, the need of fuel would have declined and human race would have not developed. Due to war, money was spent. This gave an opportunity for the poor nations to develop. War is the only way to solve internal disputes. It is true that war has been the reason for formation of many countries. Individuals have right to defend themselves, so war is justifiable for attaining freedom.
Now let us see what Bojana tells.
Hashita defended that people flee their as they don't get justice. Actually, not true. People left to save their lives and family. Development of nation is necessary, but without people, how will you develop a country? War creates death and injury of large number of people. Due to war, there is loss of economy, destruction of environment, loss of productivity, and damage to military. When there is extermination, how could you nation develop? War can wipe out a generation of men. Over 60 million of people died in World War II. I deny that when it is when it is told that war helped poor nations develop, it actually made the poor nations even poor. Hence, war should be avoided.
Now let us see what Ritesh tells.
Bhojana told only with people a nation can be developed, then it's the same. People who's responsible for creating war. War is to support our argument that war and conflict is an inevitable part of human being. Bhojana, you told that war wipes out the generation of men. Are men the only creatures on earth? I would surely tell only due to war, women developed their confidence and were able to take man only jobs or else now also women will be locked in houses if there was no war. War actually does not make all nations poor. It makes the rich nations poor and gives chance for the poor nations to develop. It is fair to assume that if cost is inevitable, war is also inevitable. Thank you.
Now let me give you synopsis on both the topics so that you get a clear picture to give justice. The first team has determined that war is avoidable, as in the past decade up to 2 million of those killed in armed conflicts were children. War creates extended emotional and psychological stress. Major impact of war is destruction of life, building, transportation, and other social interrelated structures. Most wars have resulted in significant loss of life, along with destruction of infrastructure and resources which led to famine, disease, and death in the civilian population, while survivors may suffer the psychological effects. So, all war results in lower qualities of life and worse health outcomes. When we look into the point of view of what is inevitable part of being human, it is actually yes. Because human beings won't go a day without seeing any conflict. Since conflict could be from the smallest thing, example, deciding whether to wear a black or a white shirt. So it makes sense that conflict is something inevitable part of human being. From this team's suggestion, of course, war is inevitable. It is the natural order of things where if people cannot reach an agreement, it will eventually resort to violence. In real life, there is no such thing as good and evil. Even people like Hitler may seem evil when you hear that he was responsible for the extermination of race and death. To us and the modern world, he was evil, but to the Nazis and German people, he was a hero. Evil characters only fight or go to war due to their ambitions, and this in itself is the reason war is inevitable. Humans are ambitious creatures. We can't help always wanting more. You could have everything, but you would still want more, and this is our nature. Wars always speed up technology development. World War One did that. The war gave an opportunity for women to take on previously man-only jobs. The war proved a significant factor in giving the woman the vote to 1919 and helped change social attitudes towards women forever. So this team also doesn't seem to relent. They have given many valid points. Now it's up to you, friends. Give a better justice.
War is avoidable
And why?
because due to wars, many lives are killed.
Yes, you are right. Even though war helped the human race to develop, war creates extermination of life on earth. So war is avoidable. We can avoid war by educating ourselves on the issues, develop a closer and more respectful relationship to Muslims and the Islamic world, raise money for the third world. These are the few ways in which we could avoid war. Actually, war is not the only solution. Father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi followed non-violence to resolve the conflict, and demanded for human rights in the most cherishable way. He too succeeded in it. So there are various ways to bring peace. It only depends on the minds who follow it. As we mentioned earlier in the first activity, saving a life is far better than killing it. So war should be avoided and it is avoidable. This PPT was done by S. Harshita, V. Bojana, P. Divyamina, G. Jitesh, A. Abhirav. Thank you.